Welcome to the Leaderonomics show. Today we have a fantastic author and thought leader, Dave Siegel, who has published more than 4 books. Now Dave has done innovation and has consulted for numerous corporations around the world, and he himself is actually an entrepreneur who makes and produces different products. So Dave, welcome to the studio.
What brings you to Malaysia?
Conference, really. There's a conference on innovation, and I love to speak.
Okay.
It's a good way for me to meet people, learn things, and sometimes get business.
Right.
And didn't know where Malaysia was, to be honest.
This is your first trip out here?
Oh yeah, I've been
fantastic.
to Singapore before, and but never Malaysia.
Yeah. When you come to Malaysia, do you see a difference between, especially in terms of the mindset of people regarding innovation here versus some of the other countries that you've been at?
A little bit. The biggest thing I see is still, I'm going to say it's called risk take, the desire to take a risk. Yeah. And of course I'm American, and some people say we're born to take risks, and there might even be a little truth to that. We were pioneers a long time ago to settle America, and those people took risks, and maybe it's a little bit in our blood. Not everyone takes it, but we're a little more open to it. Many cultures, especially in Southeast Asia and here, they're so used to following rules, and you're judged by following rules. Well, rules are enemies for innovation. You have to be willing to break the rule. Otherwise, you'll wind up doing the same thing everybody else does over and over again. So there's a bit of a culture difference there. And I do quite a bit of work in South America as well. And I would say even South America, and especially Brazil, which I work quite a bit in, is also becoming much more into risk-taking. They're much more open. So yeah, I think this is a bit different.
Right. So on top of your teaching, you also write.
Yes.
And this is you've now come up with your 4th book, right?
Yeah, 3 books where I've been a lead author. In fact, I had some help on this one, of course, but I'm the lead author. And 2 other books that I was lead author in, I was one of the first marketers to children. So I wrote the book, The Great Tween Buying Machine, which identified younger children as being very powerful in the family. And in fact, smart businessmen marketed to the children in order to get products into the household, because parents had a lot of trouble saying no to their children, and they still do. And then from there, and I was doing that long enough that some of those children eventually became parents. I wrote the book, Marketing to Moms and Kids, The Great Super Consumer, which generally said that you really market, again, through the child to get to the mom, but the 2 of them are such a powerful force that you could do anything with kids. In fact, what we found in the U.S. is one of the best ways to get Americans to stop smoking is to have the children tell their parents to stop smoking. And that really worked considerably.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so this book is Myths and
Innovation.
Myths and Mistakes. It's on innovation.
Yes, it's on innovation.
I mean, could you highlight some of the myths and
oh yeah, there's first of all, this came. It was fun in that I had a lot of practice in new product work. In my background, I was a marketer of new products way back. My master's thesis in grad school was on new products. I was one of the only people that ever thought about doing new products. Because the risk. Everybody wanted to do the big thing, and wrote a master's thesis on it a long time ago.
Okay.
And
you look young still. So.
Oh, thanks. Tell that to my wife. So it's been a journey. I was doing new product work. As part of the innovation route, I worked at Procter & Gamble too in the new products group and helped them do some new products. I could say I launched products, but there's 50,000 people there that help launch a product. And so we all participated in it. And from there, started my own company and failed, which I was glad to have failed it now. Then I was very upset, but you learn from failure. I did a special restaurant chain with a new type of food never done before, and I went from rags to riches to rags very quickly. From there, I became a head of marketing for Cadbury in candy, new products, bringing in new products into the U.S. Loved it, got pretty fat, and after a while, and after some, Cadbury bought a company called Peter Paul in the U.S., and Hershey bought Peter Paul. Then I left there and went back to my hometown, well, my wife's hometown, Cincinnati, and worked for the Bristol-Myers company, Dracket, also doing some new product work. Long story short, went into advertising, worked for Young and Rubicam in charge of their kids division. And how I made that leap was one of the first assignments for Young and Rubicam was they had a big toy company, and they needed somebody with a marketing background, preferably from Procter & Gamble, to work on their big toy account, because the CEO from this company called Kenner, which is now Hasbro, was a Procter & Gamble guy. So they wanted me to go and teach the toy company to be a marketing company. And within a couple of days, I realized they got it wrong. We should be teaching marketing companies to be like the toy companies, because the kids were powerful. They're more demanding. There was something called licensing, which was never done in packaged goods, but we did Star Wars and we did strawberry shortcake. Why couldn't they do that in packaged goods? So that led me to children's marketing, and I started up a children's agency for Young and Rubicam called Small Talk, and went around the world helping them market to children. Eventually, one of my successes was called the Super Soaker, the water gun. One of the world's largest, most successful toy, of which I did all the marketing, came up with the positioning, and I won a trophy for it. Well, that's nice, but the individual I did the item for made $90 million. So I just thought, I couldn't need a trophy, so I said, it's time to start my own company again. So I left Young and Rubicam, started a company called WonderGroup, which was a marketing agency just for children, and became the largest in the United States. I've recently sold that company to go on my own on innovation. Because as part of WonderGroup, we eventually grew to also do, as I said, not just children, but moms, and not just advertising, but new products, and helping companies develop new products. And we're darn good at it.
Right. So you practically are not just a marketer, you're also a product developer. And
oh yeah,
you've done it all. Right?
Yeah, well I don't do the technical parts, the engineering parts. That confuses me.
Just the ideation part.
Mostly the ideation and the marketing and bringing good ideas to life, so to speak, and you've heard that before. And that's what thrills me, and to see the opportunities. In innovation, and this conference actually does a little bit of this, they concentrate on the idea. The hardest part in innovation isn't the idea, it's seeing the opportunity. Once you can identify that opportunity, and that's the hard part, the ideas will come. And then you put the right business spin to it, talk to some good technical people, and you can come up with a nice big success. And it's sort of like giving birth. It's a great feeling to see.
Is that what you cover in your book?
Yes, I do cover that in the book. In fact, there's several myths, and
maybe you can highlight one or two of the myths.
One of the biggest myths is that there's a myth that great ideas sell themselves. No, they don't. Great ideas die unless it's properly marketed, properly communicated. In fact, most ideas fail because they're not communicated well. You may have an idea, and you can tell me that idea, and there's a good chance I won't understand what you're saying. Not because you're from Malaysia, but you're seeing things that I don't see. In a different perspective. Absolutely. And then I'll take that idea and go to my technical people. They probably won't understand what I'm saying. All the way down to the consumer. In fact, a lot of the companies I've helped, I'll get called in and they'll say, Dave, we did all this research, we did all this testing, and we came out in the marketplace, and it failed. And in fact, there's a company in Brazil I'm just helping right now on it, and I look at their package, and I go, what is it? Well, it's a flan product that does this, and this package doesn't tell me that. Well, but isn't it a pretty package? You spent how many millions of dollars on research, developing the product, finding the opportunity, and never telling the consumer what it does. So that's one of the big myths. Again, a great idea does not sell itself. In fact, great marketing can sell a mediocre idea, and I've had a lot of successes in that, probably more of that than the other.
But does that last though? I mean, for a mediocre product with a great marketing spin.
I'm sorry?
Does that last? I mean, is that sustainable?
Does it last? Yes, it does.
Marketing
is
very powerful.
It's a very powerful market because so many people buy. They don't buy logically. That's the other myth, and that's what came out of here. Consumer research is important. It is, but not the way it used to be done. You can't ask a person why they buy something. They think they know why, but it's wrong. Why do people overpay products that come in nice packages? Sometimes it's a package that works forever.
So there's power in there is significant power in marketing.
Oh yeah. And the hard part of innovation is many times the technical people don't really understand or value the marketers, and the marketers don't value the technical people. And
so is it an equal weightage in terms of the technical piece? I mean, the product piece and the marketing, or you think the marketing piece is much more critical?
No, they're really both important. But rarely will a great idea succeed without good marketing. But a mediocre idea could succeed with great marketing. Gosh, so many #1 brands in the U.S. that are technically no different than anybody else's.